Well, new Russia sanctions could not only impact the country's economy, but also global markets. Oil and gas prices are soaring, and there are growing fears that this could interrupt supplies around the world. So, here to discuss all of this is Max Seddon. He is the Moscow bureau chief for the Financial Times. Thank you so much for joining us. You know, we've spoken to a lot of people who are stationed in Ukraine, but not in Moscow. So, before we get into the financial implications, I want to ask you, what's the atmosphere like there? You know, we spoke to Holly Williams and other correspondents who have said in Ukraine, people are only just now starting to sort of become concerned about a possible invasion. So, what's the mood in Moscow? And also, you know, what is the messaging that Russians are hearing from Vladimir Putin, and do they believe it?
Well, I think even in Moscow, despite all the warnings over the last few months, a lot of people weren't really taking them seriously. Ordinary people weren't really paying attention. State TV wasn't ramping up its claims about Ukraine until very recently, and even with only about one or two exceptions, people who I speak to in the expert community here, they just couldn't believe that Putin would do something like this. I spoke to several people yesterday who were just completely shocked. And what's happened in recent days is you went from a week ago today, when Russia said it was going to start pulling some troops back. State TV basically did two straight days of dunking on the Western media for, as they described it, predicting an invasion of Ukraine didn't happen. And then just days later, there was a sudden shift in messaging to claiming that Ukraine was intensifying attacks on separatist controlled areas, which Ukraine says it's not doing. There has been a lot of evidence that's credible that says this, and also defies logic that Ukraine would decide to attack Russian proxies at the time when Russia has put more than half of its army on the Ukrainian border. Putin made it very clear last night that this is about a lot more than just recognizing these two separatist states. They each control only about a third of two provinces in eastern Ukraine, and this was a speech that really showed Russians that Putin really has a problem with Ukraine as it exists in its current form. He seems to be almost personally offended by its continued existence, and it was a sort of speech where I think most Russian people would have expected the Kremlin to go a lot further potentially than they have so far.
Yeah, he basically said the only reason Ukraine exists as it is right now is because of Russia. So let's talk about the financial implications. The President Biden has promised crippling sanctions for Moscow, but should that happen, will it be only in this globally integrated world? Is it only Russia that will be impacted by crippling sanctions? How could it spill over into global markets?
Well, I think we're seeing that already because, firstly, the oil price is at almost at $100 per barrel today, and and even though the ruble has been really weakened by this, in the way that actually suits Russia, because Russia gets about 50% of its budget revenue from selling oil and gas, and they sell it in dollars, and they and then they convert that to rubles to their budget. So on one hand, that suits Russia. On the other hand, you're already seeing that this is going to have huge consequences for Russia. I was personally quite surprised that Olaf Scholz, the Chancellor of Germany, decided to suspend the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, which is this very controversial $10 billion pipeline, basically cutting Ukraine out of the European gas transit system by going underwater from Russia straight to Germany. And this was something that, despite objections from three consecutive American administrations, Angela Merkel, the former Chancellor of Germany, she did everything that she could to try to get this pipeline through because she thought it was essential for European energy security. And now Scholz just now he said that the situation has changed. Germany is going to start looking at alternative sources of energy, and that's going to have huge consequences not just for Germany but also for Russia, because the way that the gas pipeline network is built, you can't just turn around and sell gas. It's not oil that goes in barrels. It's not LNG that goes in tankers, and you can't just turn around and sell the gas that goes to Europe to China, because the Ural Mountains are in the way. You have to spend billions and billions of dollars building new pipelines that would take many years. So this is going to have huge consequences already for Russia, even before we know what the rest of the U.S. and European sanctions will be.
All right, Max Seddon, thank you so much.
Thank you.